Hey everybody, beautiful, gorgeous day here today. Truly is a gorgeous day. Wanted to share a victory, and sometimes these victories come not like we expect them, and sometimes the things that we're asked to do is not what we thought we were going to be doing. So a few months back, I had received this musical instrument. Look how beautiful this is. Yay, gorgeous. So I had received this musical instrument, and wasn't really sure. I kind of was like, I'm not a musician, I don't really need this, blah blah. But I reluctantly took this musical instrument, and I did a little research on it. And the first time I tried to sell it online, I think I listed it for $100, and there were so many people that wanted it for $100 that I thought, obviously I've priced it too low. This is I'm not seeing something, because to me it looked like a broken musical instrument. It did not look like something of value. It looked very disheveled and in fair condition. It did not look to me like anything worthwhile, but what do I know? I'm not a musician, right? That's the point. So I then took down that listing and I did more research, and I realized that this particular violin was made in Germany, and it had, particular markings on it that were specific. And as I did a little more research, I realized, wow, this violin actually has some value to it. And so then I took it around to some people that I know and had them look at it, and they're like, yeah, I wouldn't take anything less than, $400 for it for what it is. And, if you fix it up, it's obviously worth more than that. But if you don't want to do the investment, you could easily get $400 for it. So, the bottom line is, looking at this disheveled looking, instrument, was like, really? Because again, I don't know anything about musical instruments. So the point is, I listed it for quite some time at $444. And, I had some people that showed an interest, but they wanted me to ship it to them and then for them to inspect it and then ship it back. And my policy for the things that I'm selling are one-of-a-kind, vintage and antique items, and things that, I don't have a return policy because they're one-of-a-kind items. I'm not, it's basically, you buy it, it's yours, that's it. That's my policy, because I'm trying to unload stuff. I'm not trying to create I don't have duplicates of things, is what I'm getting at. So the bottom line is, the person was like, well, unless I can, see it and then be able to return it, then I'm not going to buy it. I said, that's your choice, but it's a one-time item, it's purchased, and that's it. So then I had a couple other people, and I set up an appointment with them to come physically, locally, to look at the instrument and to inspect it. And these people were no-shows. They never showed up. They didn't keep their appointment. So again, I'm starting to get a little disappointed, like, when is this ever going to get sold? And I'm starting to be like, whatever. So I forget about it. I totally forget about it. I'm working on other items and working on my business, and just, that's not a priority. So then I get somebody that was interested, and they started asking me really specific questions and asking for more photos. And again, at the beginning, I'm like, I already put photos on Facebook, like Marketplace, like, why do I need additional photos? And they're like, yeah, but if you could take a picture of this part of the instrument and this part of the instrument. And so again, I complied with the person's request, and I took additional photos, sent it to the person, and they're like, I'm definitely interested. And I'm like, okay. And again, like, I don't know what to look for, okay? So the bottom line is, I'm trying to complete the sale, and all of a sudden Facebook says that I've duplicated this item, which I haven't, but Facebook is saying that I have, and therefore Facebook won't allow me to advance to the next step. Okay? So what I'm getting at is I have an item to sell. I'm trying to sell it inside of Facebook. Facebook does something in their system without anything that I did, something that Facebook did, and now all of a sudden my buy button is missing and the person can't buy the item because Facebook is saying I have this item duplicated in multiple places, which I didn't. So I go in, try to solve the problem, can't solve it. Okay, so I delete that listing, and as soon as I deleted that one listing, then it got deleted on all these other multiple places where I had advertised it, but it was still one listing. So then I create a new listing with all the same variables, and I'm attempting to sell it, to this guy in this whole Facebook system. And again, the stupid AI of Facebook or whatever within Facebook takes over, and they will not give me a buy button. So this guy still can't buy what I'm selling. He wants to buy it, but he can't buy it. So the bottom line is, I offer him an alternative way to pay. I don't go inside of Facebook because Facebook was not cooperating. It wasn't allowing me to be able to sell this item within Facebook. And so I end up going on my own to UPS to package up this box and receive the money from the buyer. And I have sold that item, that something that I would look at and say is completely broken, it's beyond repair, like why would somebody want it? To me, it's like, I would look at that as like, that's trash, I wouldn't even bother with it. But that is how most of us are. We're all broken. We might look kind of trashy. We might have a past that is not so good. It's very spotted. But yet, when we surrender to the Lord and we say, God, this is all the horrible stuff I did, and will you please forgive me, Lord, and I would like to follow your ways. And we surrender to what was, and we believe in what is, the death, burial, resurrection of Jesus, and we believe in the Bible. We start to want to read the Bible, and then we give over our past so that our present is filled with blessings. And the point is, that musical instrument was just like me, a broken person. But when somebody else sees the value in it, and somebody else who knows that musical instrument can put the time and the dedication to fix that item, they see the value in it, okay? Just like when I can find a piece of furniture and I know how to take that piece of furniture and fix it up and sand it and stain it and paint it and put new hardware on it, and I can take something that was a piece of junk crap and sell that item for several $100s. That's again me seeing the value in something. I know the value of how to make that one thing look better, and to see that before and after is magnificent. Just like we see our before when we were troubled and in a mess, and then later on to see Jesus's testimony in us as we are transformed and our life is completely different than what it was before. So I just encourage you that, number one, to keep your eyes open. And, sometimes when somebody gifts you something, you might think it's a piece of junk, but it may be worth the investigation and the time that's necessary to investigate the possibility that maybe that thing that was gifted to you really does have value, and maybe there is somebody out there that really wants the thing that you're offering. So be open-minded to the possibility that what God wants you to do requires very little, sometimes very little effort. So what I'm saying is, I put up a few ads, I did a little bit of investigation. When I talked to the buyer and he said, when you pack it, can you please take off the strings and do this? I didn't know how to take off strings from a violin. I've never done that in my life, okay? And it took me some time just to get that off. But was it worth it to see the value of, for me, that that $400 is going to make a difference in my life and what I do with my ministry. And, you know, that violin is going to make a difference in that man's life and what he does with that violin. So the point is, be mindful, pay attention, and sometimes things that are broken really are God's opportunity for you to fix them and make them whole and complete, just like God wants to make us whole and complete. Have a good one, everybody.